Hello everyone. Um, Quick update on a few things. Sadly, I've received news via Richard D. Hall that Baron Blackett has been killed in a house fire. Now he sent me this report as well, which doesn't have any extra details. I don't think he's named in this report either, but I'll include the link just for anyone that's interested. Um, so for those who don't know who Baron Blackett was and what he was into, he was working with Alan Wilson, researching the true history of King Arthur. And uh, why this is significant is apparently to do with the British monarchy. Now, they've been at this for years, since at least the 1980s, and have written several books. And Richard's done an extensive set of videos with them. Now, Alan Wilson on the right here, he was quite old. I think he was in his 80s or late 70s. I think he was in his 80s though. I met Alan a few years ago in 2010 at a conference in Bath, and so that was before I really got to know his work through Richard's programs. Um, but he died in 2023 as well. September he died, and then another chap that Richard's featured on his programs, on his videos, is Ross Broadstock, and he also was looking at. He was actually trying to reboot or republish a lot of Wilson and Blackett's work. Now you can find all these videos here. You can watch these. Now Ross sadly died as well earlier this year. I forget the exact date, but very sad, sudden death. Now he may have underlying health issues. I'm not sure about that. A lovely chap, Ross. Very helpful, very bouncy, very enthusiastic, and he seemed to be really making inroads into um, Britain's hidden history, basically, as it says on his shirt here. And he used to run this YouTube channel, and he'd get various guests to talk about this. And his following was increasing at the time of his death. Lots more people were watching his videos. So this is all very suspicious that something is going on, and they don't want certain bits of history revealed, probably because they're a threat to the British monarchy in some way. So you can watch that if you're not already familiar. The links from Richard I will include as well. I'm going to put a post on Check the Evidence, so you'll see that. Here's all the links to the relevant videos that Richard sent round in an email about this. Also, staying on Richard's work, he posted a new video about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, called Manchester on Camera, and with the help of somebody else, I believe, he's developed this online tool, where you can look at the footage, or well, some of the images from the CCTV cameras. Now, this is an incredible piece of work that he's done, because he's had to extract these images individually from PDF files and make them sort of into a sequence, and then you can track the various people that appear in these sequences and which cameras they go onto, so you can sort of see the movements of people of interest. And this has led to a few other sort of potential discoveries based on witness statements in the inquiry, and some of that is included in Richard's latest film, episode 308, so you can watch that. Some important stuff coming out, and Richard's obviously concerned about the court case may hamper his ability to put out information such as this. So you might want to repost this and draw awareness to it. And I think again here we have to take note that certain outlets like UK Column are not featuring these updates. As far as I'm aware, they're not really. They did do a feature on Richard's case when it was first put in the news and everything, or in fact I don't know if they did do a feature on the case. They certainly did a feature on the BBC programmes last year that Richard was subjected to, but I'm not sure if they've done anything after that. So yeah, so have a look at that. Share it if you want to. I'll include the links in the description for this video. And let's hope that Richard is successful in actually rebutting the people that have said that they've harassed him and so forth. And that in itself is interesting. As I've always said, they're not suing him for defamation or saying that they're liars. They're suing him for harassment. So they're not saying that he's lying when he says, or for defamation when he says that they weren't at the event. That's very interesting. It probably means they're not able to prove they were at the event. And this video that he's produced here again doesn't give any evidence that Martin and Eve Hibbert were at this event. So there you are. So moving on to a couple of other things then. The last video I made was about this MH370 flight, and I was kind of taken in with this video that Ashton Forbes put out, which appeared to show this flight disappearing. But as I did an update on Check the Evidence a week or so ago, just over a week ago, it does appear that this video was fake after all. Quite a good fake, I suppose. Some people say it was not very good. But the proof that it was fake came from the facts that some stock images of clouds and skyscapes were used, and you can see a perfect match in this MH370 disappearance video. So do have a look at that if you want to. I was taken in by it, as I say, so I posted an update as soon as I'd seen this, and a couple of people on Facebook said this had been debunked a few weeks ago, maybe before I realised. But of course, it begs the question again: what happened to MH370? And whoever's put this out, why did they put it out? We can imagine that they wanted something to be covered up or to muddle up the picture yet again. And maybe something like this did actually happen, or it was a military operation of some kind, and this again has just been put out as disinformation to cover up because somebody had leaked something somewhere that we haven't yet seen, or there was some operation which was potentially going to be revealed. So you can watch that and have a look at why that was a fake. And then a couple of other oddments really that I've just come across in the last few days, and both to do with COVID. Now, I picked up a story from somewhere, this People's Voice, somebody sent me this. Mainstream media, or SSM, Shamestream media, finally talks about the VEX excess deaths. FDA admits catastrophic life expectancy decline. Now, this was featured on Fox News, apparently. You can watch the little clip on Twitter. And they're sort of saying that there are 158,000 excess deaths. And the guy on this basically says the only logical explanation is the COVID jab, which is kind of the first time that they've said this on mainstream. But they're still talking about COVID as if it was a real thing, of course. And they're not going to take responsibility for their own misreporting. And the other thing related to this, that apparently the Italian health minister is under investigation by the Italian police for misinformation about COVID and potentially causing deaths by covering up data and changing data and stuff. So you can see that there in that story. I'll leave that. That was posted in LifeSite News as well, which is a sort of Christian news site, which is quite good for certain headlines, although it does have a Christian slant on everything. But that's not always a bad thing. So you can look at that link as well. Finally, I just came across this just in the last couple of days, but it is from June 2022. Mark Devlin, who has interviewed me, and I've got certain questions about Mark Devlin, particularly in relation to his flat earth beliefs. But this, nevertheless, is an interesting interview that he did, or roundtable that he did with Mike Stock of Stock Aitken and Waterman, Matt Hoy, who was in UB40, and the Right Said Fred guys, who certainly very articulate, and they seem quite self-effacing in this video. And it's an interesting discussion about COVID and how certain musicians didn't stand up to and actually supported the narrative and went along with it, and Rod Stewart, Elton John, and stuff, which I posted about, I think, on my website back in when that was all going on. So you can have a listen to that. It's about 90 minutes, so it's quite long, but it's worth a listen. And it's nice to hear some of those guys coming out and stating the stuff they did in the way that they've done this. And I'm glad that Mark put this discussion together, and he's had contact with these people to talk about these things. So really, those things are all I wanted to talk about for now. So this is a bit shorter than the last one, but of course that's fine. So I'll just close by saying I wish you all the best for the festive period and the new year and everything. And let's hope again we can keep pushing back in 2024 and hope that we will reveal more and more what's going on, and that we can lessen the effectiveness of mainstream media and all the other propaganda outlets, and show them for what they are. So thanks again for listening, and I'll talk to you again probably in the new year, I would think.